So my advice is, once it is positive, it doesn't have to be farming. It can be hairdressing. It can be a barber. You can start from your home. Don't let anybody belittle what you do, belittle your hustle. Because at the end of the day, the bills have to pay.
At Jamaica with it? In the country?
Yep.
Man, I know that. Man, I go and run in by your farm and thief us in them when you're there. How that go?
They did it before. And these are not all the same size, right?
How you determine what size they come out to be?
Depending on how wide you plant them.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet done so, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Me no know what one of the wait on as we travel around Jamaica and bring you nothing but some real authentic Jamaican vibes. Today we are in the hills of St. Elizabeth and we come to check farmer girl Jessie, who are going with a bag of things, and people if you no can look behind me, who know that never believes there is a lady I do all of this. And not only is she a farmer, she's a mother of 2 boys, she's a full-time student, and she still find time to farm up all of this land. So we come to check her, we are going to hold her vibes, and she will give us some insight as to her life in a farming, why she got into farming, where she found the love for farming, and all of them things there. So kick back, relax, enjoy. Jamaica Uncut, we soon forward. So Jessie, what made you decide to get into farming?
Well, at 16, I became a mom. I was going to school. I didn't have an income, and at that moment, I became a single mom. So it forces me to go out and do something. And at that time, I didn't really start the farming 100%. I used to go attend the Charles Garden Market in Montego Bay. I normally take goods from the community members, go and sell it and come back and pay them, I do it weekly. Until I learned that if I have something in that batch of goods for myself, then it would pay me more. So I went out and I started farming. I started by planting some carrot. And when my carrot harvested, when I harvested it, I make so much money. And it was a little patch. So that encourages me to go out and do farming more for myself.
Why did you decide to go into cabbage specifically?
I normally planted cabbage, carrot, sweet pepper, tomato, sweet potato, but it don't pay me that much as cabbage do. So I cut down on all those. I still plant them, but not the same quantity, right? So I engage in more cabbage.
You did have to learn from somebody?
Not really. No.
Not really?
No. Most Jamaican farmers have this tendency to say that, do what the old folks do. No, I plant something, I learn off of it. It teaches me. So if I do this term it doesn't work, I try something else the next term. So I learn off my own farm. Alongside with a few ideas from my fellow farmers or from my other farmers.
How you and the help go?
I get a lot of help from my community members and family members as well. They would come out and help me and I would pay and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'm super grateful for that.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cabbage. From plant to reap, what's the time span?
After I plant them in the seeding trays, it took me like 3 to 4 weeks to transplant. And after transplanting, 2.5 to 3 months. And it's not a crop that you harvest at once. So whenever you start, it can lead up to 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, depending on the amount that you plant. So like my production here now, this is gonna take me up to 3 months to finish harvesting.
Wow.
Because I have them in stages.
Oh.
Yes, I don't plant them all at once.
Okay. I see.
Yes.
I see.
I have to plant and prepare and think about the market. So if I have a certain amount of market, I plan to support them and not to go over what they would want too much. I support people in my community who go to different markets, and I also support an organization that supports hotels.
Okay.
You know, the farmer's price is always cheaper. It's unfair, huh?
Very true. Very true.
Yes, the farmer's price is always cheaper.
Very true.
The third party will always make most of the profit.
Weeding, cleaning,
Yes.
insects.
Yes.
How do you manage all of that?
It's like you go to work. Say you are an office assistant, right? You know what is to be done each day, each week, and so you prepare. And that's what I do. So if I come here and I see that my farm is starting to weed up, I know when, depending on how big the weeds are, I know when I'm supposed to start, focusing on the weeds. And if I come here and my plant is as beautiful as this, I know that I need to keep it like this, right? So not because it is this beautiful or this pretty, without insect, that doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to care for it, right? I'm going to continue caring for it, because once I stop, there comes the pest.
A Jamaica with it?
Yep.
In the country?
Yep. Which I love.
I know that. Man, I go and run in on your farm and thief you sitting them when you're there.
Did.
How that go?
They did it before, and I was traumatized. I was down to the floor. I was hurt. I was broken. It's not a good experience.
Wow.
Yes. And I hope and pray that I may not have to encounter with such anymore.
Off camera we spoke, and you're going back to school.
Yes.
And to my surprise, I thought you'd go back to school to learn more about agriculture, hydroponics, but you're studying to become a nurse. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh, I feel like I want to walk and talk about this.
Walk and talk.
Oh my God. Yes, so me going back to school to become a nurse, it's always been my passion, right? It's always and will forever be my passion. Since I was a child, I wanted to become a nurse. But I did not get to finish school because of the lack of financial support in my family background, right? My mom died and such, so I have to run on my own at a tender age. So I did not finish school. So this is it. I'm here trying to pick up from where I stopped. Consistency, and knowing what I want, I know I will pursue nursing. But remember, farming will always be a part of me. Farming is my passion. It will always be a part. When you say farming, you say Jessie. When you say Jessie, you say farming. So it doesn't matter what I become, I will forever be a farmer. I'm on 5 acres, can be a little less, can be a little more, but the entire 5 acres is not farmed out. Entire thing is not, because I have a section over there that I normally plant pumpkins, but I just cannot get to it right now.
So yes, people, we're up in the hills with farmer girl Jessie, who has been doing this from she was a little girl. And she still find time to go to school. She still find time to look after her 2 boys and find time for her massive farm. And it's most impressive because you don't see a lot of girls who look like her, like look on her. You know, see no hope a woman will look like a she we're in a farming business.
You know, every time I go out and someone asks what do I do? And I say I'm a farmer, they would look at me like, hey, you are not. They would normally say, let me see your hands. And I would, they said, no, And I would say, what do farmers look like?
Right.
I would say, they have rougher hands. They're just rough. I said, no, sweetheart. We are here to change that.
Yes. You're changing the narrative.
Yes.
Cool.
Farming is like any other job, right? You wake up, you dress up, you go to your farm. You wake up, you dress up, you go to your office. This is my office.
Yeah.
And I present it like my office.
So how do you manage during school, weekdays on school?
Sometimes, my school starts at 8:30 and it dismisses at 2:30. Sometimes it can go up to 4 depending on what we have to do, extra classes and stuff like that. But sometimes I would come to the farm in the evening, right? I would have someone come to the farm while I go to school. And most of the time I would come out and do majority of the work on Saturdays. And I would harvest on Saturdays and go to the market sometime on Sundays. Yes.
And where do you go to the market?
New Market.
You go to New Market?
It's a wholesale market.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Where people who go to markets or sell other sources their goods come to shop and go and sell it back.
Okay.
Yes.
As a woman, do you find that you're met with resistance as the boss to tell specifically men what to do?
Yes and no. The thing is, I work with me who I work with. They knows me well. I knows them well, right? So I know what to say to them and what not to say to them, and they know the same. And we interact like we are friends. We are all friends. That's how we interact. So, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
One that we planted, these are the babies. So this is what we took from the seedling trays and we transplant them here, right? See how small they start? And these are what transform into those. They were all the same thing. This one was cut down by, we call it cutter.
Oh, like a bug.
Our jumper.
Like a grasshopper kind of thing.
Yes, the grasshopper.
Okay.
And they don't eat it enough. They just, you see what happened? They don't eat it. They just cut it down and leave it. They have bad mind.
So how much crop you lose to drought or insect or just overall imperfect situations?
I cannot recall me losing a crop from the drought, but I can recall me losing a crop from too much rain.
Oh.
And that was like 4 months ago. I lost this entire thing go down there with cabbage because there was constant rainfall.
Oh, it basically drowned them?
No, it rots them, makes them rot.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I lose a cabbage crop and I lose a carrot crop.
Okay.
Based upon too much rain. But I've never suffered from drought. Because even though it's dry, this area, it's moist. It have a lot of moist.
Cool.
It's cool, yes.
Yes.
So the drought doesn't bother me that much here.
Okay. All right.
Because even if the rain doesn't fall, when you come in the morning, the plants are wet. Because the dew falls so hard. It dew so hard, it's like rain.
Okay. Great.
So this is the second oldest patch. Or third, because there are stages, as I said before. Over there, as we're heading over there now, over there is the first stage we planted.
Okay.
So they're older than this one.
So they're ready for reap now?
Yes.
Okay.
In a sense, not fully, but in a sense.
Okay.
They can find something there.
So she will also show us some of the reaping process as well, people.
As you can see here, if you come closer, look at the difference with these. These are kind of brown. You can see it. This shows that they are young and that they are not ready for harvesting, right? And they are not yet molded into cabbages. So this is the stage. As you can see, this one is kind of different. This is kind of different also. You see the difference? This one is starting to fold, but not yet, as this one reaches further in its folding process. And this one is much further in its folding process. This is almost ready. As you can see, it forms the cabbage already.
Okay.
Yes. Look at this. You can also feel it. It's hard and ready to harvest.
Okay.
Yes. You see the difference with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big difference. This brown looking thing, brown here, this is a disease. I haven't found out yet what can be used or what causes it as yet. But this brown stuff have been messing with a lot of farms.
Can it be anything in the area, anything in the ear?
It can be, but I have persons call me from different parishes and ask me about the same thing.
Okay.
So we were wondering if it's the seed, if it's inside of the seed. Yes. Look at that.
Nice.
Not even a
Well,
scratch.
firm.
Yes.
That sounds
It's ready.
nice.
You know, my favorite part of the cabbage field is always the edges. I just like to see them lined up, you know, and how beautiful they are.
Okay.
Yes. So whenever we are transplanting, I would normally plant the edges. That's my favorite part.
Okay.
Yes.
Or you run your line like a building you have make.
Yes, I like that. So the rows that you're walking in here, these are called water trenches. So whenever the rain falls, the water would follow along this trench.
And you have to dig out them?
Yes. As you can see, this one is very big because it is not clustered. As you can see, you see how big it is?
Well, what do you do with the outer leaves after you cut it?
Sometimes I would give them to persons who raise animals,
Okay.
pigs. Differently, they would stay here and go back to the soil.
If you leave it untouched, does the outer leaf also fold in?
No, it will not fold in.
Oh, it's just there kind of to protect
Yes.
what's inside.
Let me show you. You see this one is young, right? This is the cabbage. These are to protect the cabbage. These are the clothing of the cabbage. Yes, so this enclosed part is going to become the cabbage. It's going to become hard, and that's going to be the cabbage. But this will not come in. It's going to just be there to protect the cabbage.
So, why your job? What role you play on the farm now?
Take care of the farm.
You take care of the farm?
Yeah.
So how long are you there, Jessie Foot?
She stopped.
Jessie, hear the argument with me, you know. I know you do this for your children.
Yes.
See it? And we will do anything for our kids. And you want to set up way and a path for them. Would you want them to do this?
Yes. It's, farming can be a hobby. You can also do farming in a leisure time, right? So, and it's not a bad thing, it's positive. Once it's positive, for me, it's okay, right? Once it's positive. Because sometimes people see you and they will like, that's what you're really doing? That's not for you? That doesn't fit you? So if this is what they want to do, I will not discourage them. I will tell them, if that's what you like, once it's positive, give it your best.
Respect that.
Yes. This is what I sow my seeds in. This is the first stage of my cabbage. When I get my cabbage seed, I put some dirt in this, And I insert the seed, 128 seeds, cover them, water them, nourish them, and watch them for 3 to 4 weeks until they are ready. I bring them here and transplant them.
Okay.
So this is the foundation of my cabbage.
Where do you get seeds?
I purchase them.
Okay.
From farm stores.
Any farm store?
Not really.
Okay. You have your one ready to go.
Yes. Last year,
no, just say the number. Cause the number kind of frightened.
I have written down that I harvested 37,000 pounds of cabbage.
Jesus. People, hold on.
Yes.
This is a woman who is a full-time student or go to nursing school.
Not yet. Hard.
You go hard.
No.
So you do it, so you're getting ready to go to university or wherever.
Yes.
So you go hard to study nursing.
Yes.
You have 2 little boys.
Yes.
Everybody who have picnic know how hard it is to raise little boy, much less 2 of them. Plus go to school, plus send them go to school.
Yes.
And farm, hold on, let me find the camera here. And farm all of this. See there? She still find time to do all this. This is the definition of nothing no name can do. Once you set your mind to something, the universe will provide all the necessary things that you need to make it happen. Stop saying you can't do something and just start.
Next week or the other week. And as you can see, we have a lot of ready cabbage here. Then I'm going to borrow your knife. Up the remainder, right? After cutting the cabbage, because this harbors insect.
Oh.
Yes. And it gives, whenever you pull it up, it gives the other plant space. Whenever you harvest the cabbage, you pull it up because you don't want it to stay there and take up space, and this even suck the nutrient from the soil. So you don't want that.
Alright, come. Instructional.
Left hand on the cabbage, top part of the cabbage, yes, and you determine how far you want to cut it. If you want a lot of bush on it, a lot of leaves, you determine where you want to cut it. I like to see with the leaves on it.
Not strong like Diana, Jessie.
Doesn't seem. Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. As I was saying now, this part that leaves here, right? If you leave it here, it is gonna spring some baby cabbage right around this part. And I think if you take care of it, you will get cabbage, I think. But I'm not really sure. But I think so. You're going to pull it off.
Just hand him out.
Shake the dirt off. Shake it right off.
What time your day start?
My as a student, a mom, and a farmer, my day start at sometimes 3:30
a.m.
Yes. Let me explain. Let me explain. Whenever I'm working men on the farm, right? I would prepare the meal, prep the meal from overnight, right? I would season the meats or cook the peas and stuff like that. And I would wake up 3:30 to cook the meal, right? I would finish cook the meal like 6 o'clock in the morning, then ready the children for school along with myself. And that's how it goes. On a regular morning, my morning starts at 5:30. And if I'm lazy and tired and feeling clumsy, 6 o'clock, sometimes 6:30.
As a self-employed person, a full-time mom, a full-time student, a full-time farmer,
Yes.
when do you get a break?
Wow. I haven't had a break in a long time. A very long time. And it makes me miserable sometimes. It makes me not want to come back. It makes me not want to continue. But when I look at why I'm doing it, who I'm doing it for, I have no other choice. You know, sometimes I go out, and people normally complain on what's not going on for them or what they would like to go on for them, and they complain and they say this and they say that and this bother them, that bother them, and such. How hard life is. Life is hard. That's true. It's hard, right? But it can be harder if you want it to be harder. It can be easier if you want it to be easier, depending on how you want it to be, right? So a lot of times I go out and I would first I start at farming. That's what I love, that's what I do. I would say, do you have a piece of land? Does your father have a piece of land? Does your grandfather or any family or friend have a piece of land? Because I'm ready to tell them to go plant something and how they can plant something. Because this is me.
What kind of advice would I give to a young man, a young woman who sees you, is inspired by you, and want to start but not know the first move to make? What kind of advice would I give them?
First advice is open your back door and sweep out the pride. Because that's the first stage of doing this, You have to put the pride aside and not think of what people may think of you. Because my first attempt to this, let me tell you, my courage was on the ground. I didn't have the courage, right? I didn't know how to start. The first thing I thought about was, how am I going to walk on the street in my water boot and I'm going to have vehicles passing me on the road? Because I have to cross the main road, to go to the farm, and people is going to be traveling in taxi. Seeing me passing in my water boot, my fellow classmates, my fellow schoolmates is going to see me while they're traveling to school in a drive or something. And I did not sleep the first night before I go to the farm. And on that morning, I said to myself, I'm going to walk very fast. I'm going to go into the bushes fast so they won't see me. From the moment I stepped out of the yard, right, there were vehicles. They were blowing me. They were calling to me, and that built my courage up. And I went to my farm and I put out my day's work, and I come back, and the next day I was up and ready. I was happy to go to the farm because I realized people acknowledge what I'm doing as something good. So my advice is, once it is positive, it doesn't have to be farming. It can be hairdressing. It can be a barber. You can start from your home. You can buy a little machine and start on your veranda. You can buy a little blow dryer and start caning here on your veranda. You can start to, ask somebody for work, help them to do something. Once it is positive, don't let anybody belittle what you do, belittle your hustle. Because at the end of the day, the bills have to pay, right? So, once it's positive, give it your best.
Blessed Lord.
Yes.
Jessie. This make me heart full. Yes. Make me soul full. It just make me. This is so motivating and so encouraging and so positive and so inspirational. Your story, your struggles, to take your struggle and turn it into positiveness.
Yes.
It is so amazing, and I wish that more youths, instead of they on roadside 6 o'clock in the morning, the lady wake up 3 o'clock. She have to look after food for her pity them for go to school. She have to look after food so she can eat for go to school. She have to go to school, she have to come to her farm.
And prepare the workmen lunch also.
And you have to prepare lunch for the workmen them.
Yes.
And you still have to come in after school. Can me see videos with you on your farm in your uniform?
Yes, I was coming from school and I had stuff to do, so I had to stop on
in your uniform.
Yes.
People, if this is not a power story, then I don't know what is. If this is not a inspirational story, I don't know what is. And bless your heart, bless your soul, just bless your efforts for all of this and to show young ladies that you don't have to follow the hype, you don't have to be what everybody else want to be.
Yes.
You can go off and just do your own thing, be your own boss, make your own money.
It's true.
And another thing that I want to say to young ladies specifically out there, not because you got pregnant young or out of high school mean that life ends.
Nope.
Jessie is a perfect example.
No. Because, you know, major point of high school that it wasn't good. I didn't have a supporting system for me to go to school. I did not. And when I have my son, I cannot picture me allowing my son to go through that. So, you know, I have to get up and do what I have to do. Because I know what I have been through, and I really would not want him or them to go through not even 1% of what I went through. So, you know, I fight every day for them not to. Yes.
How old are they now?
11 and 3.
And what are their names?
Romaine and Kai.
Really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Farmer Tins.
Yo.
Where are David?
Stay up on the
Natty.
She's Russ. So what we normally do is we break it off, break off the top. You have a carrot. You bring these home now. You have a little carrot, your little dragon and them something there.
You hear Jessie when on date nobody I can't talk about carrot and dragon. Wonder where I do with all of them there strong up there.
The pumpkin juice.
I like pumpkin juice.
Jesus.
I like pumpkin juice. I haven't had it in a long time, but breadfruit juice me like too.
Breadfruit I haven't tried. I heard
Breadfruit
of it,
juice.
but I haven't.
But Dan, you never try breadfruit?
Yeah, you have to tell us the ingredients.
See like how you make any other juice. See like how you make your pumpkin juice or your carrot juice.
So you boil
Boil the
breadfruit,
breadfruit, blend it out in your
wait,
blender.
boil it in the skin.
No man, you peel it and boil it, man. Peel it and boil it. Blend it out with your guineas, your whatever, your dragon, your supplicant, your
Or
whatever,
peanut,
whatever you want to eat. But like a
I'm
yeah.
going to try it.
Me not gonna tell you say it's gonna make you feel no certain kind of way, but I say it tastes nice.
We use bush almond juice because I love juice.
Right.
I love some we use bush almond juice because I love juice.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what, I love juice.
Outside of farming, what else you like to do?
I don't like parties, but I like dining.
Oh.
That's one of my favorite things. I like to go out, sit up on those tall stool, put my long glass, and order what I want and have it delivered to me. That's what I like for real. No, it gives you a kind of feeling. Honestly, even if you have a cheap wine in a nice glass, it feels expensive.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. It's like I wouldn't go to a restaurant and eat with some little flimsy fork.
No.
It just changes the experience of the dining.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm at home and I have I'm making some syrup, right? And I put it in a normal glass, I'm just drinking syrup.
But if you want a nice
But then
glass.
I have the syrup with some blocks of ice in a clear tall glass. Don't talk to me. But honestly, you know, if it's in a tall clear glass with some blocks of ice, it's not syrup. No, it's syrupy. Yes, that's for real. That's for real.
So how about cooking? You like to cook?
Yes, but I'm tired.
Yes, I figured that
I like
out.
to cook, but I'm tired of cooking. I'm
Right.
tired of cooking. Yes.
Dan, you know what I'm saying? My shit, doll.
Your sweetheart. It cut.
Thank you.
Yeah, cut that now. Let me see how long you take to cut it.
Show off, then I go
Look there, look there.
show off, then I go show off.
Yeah, I haven't got that, man. Who will do it?
But it go hard to drink. Dan, what would Uno do without woman, eh? What would I do? Look how decent this look now.
Jesus. You know what that tell me, sir, right now? Say it nice.
That tell us a Thursday will kill me.
Oh, God. A long time you're walking up.
You want to be nice one from morning. People were there with farmer girl Jessie, and she show us our farm and give us some insights on the farming business. Teach you about cabbage, she teach you about carrots, she teach you about Irish potato, she show we our greenhouse, and in the meantime, I share a little bit of her life story and her life's experience in farming. If you want to start something, just start. No matter wait upon the right moment or the right opportunities, because if you wait, the opportunity will never be right. You just have to start and take it from there. So you will make mistakes along the way. You are going to buck your toe, and that is a part of learning. Jessie, big up yourself. Thanks for the tour. Thanks for the information. And most of all, thanks for the jelly.
Thank you.
And the cake. Oh, get cake too. Yeah. Jelly tastes nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dan. Big up my lad. I'm want you go and continue take care of Jessie. Steer her foot and make sure that she's good.
Yeah.
And I make them boy running come eat out her little farmer money.
But you must and tell him, say, you rough me up sometime too, you know.
Sorry about you.
You rough you up. Yes, I speak good vibes.
Yeah,
Good
but
vibes and
it was
farm.
Jessie, it was an amazing experience. Really loved it. And when we hear about farmer girl Jessie, and it's been a while since I hear about farmer girl Jessie, may you talk a few times.
Yes.
Me hear you say you're a farmer, but me never know say you're a farmer.
Yes.
Like I still can't believe that you are doing all this mostly by yourself. And still I go to school and still I raise children and all of that kind of something there.
I'm doing it.
Love it.
Thank you.
Keep up your head.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you do. Jamaica uncut. Cut out.
Right out.
Hardy.
No,
Where you call her?
don't push
Hardy.
Hardy. Kawai.
I toughest looking young man we see around from the farm.
Real.
So we have to say Hardy. We have to tell you, you're tough.
Yeah.
Really hard to show.
But as a man, how you respect for her if you see she do all of this?
I tell you, I'm income to me give me land for deal with, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah, turn him on from the land here.
Nice.
Leasing with. That short term base.
Seeing?
Yeah. I mean, like how she had do it, I tell you. She not ease up no at all.
Nice.
She just can't work, I tell you.
Yeah.
In progressive a lot. I tell you, so I love her for that.
Jessie, I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you. Yeah.
Just be ready to the girl for a young girl, you know? Just me.
You don't want to okay.
You don't know what I'm doing.
I never mind family come.
But just... Good. Country vibes.
Not true.
Country vibes. Jamaica uncut out there with farmer girl Jessie on the farm. Eat some cane.
Yes.
Cane sweet though. Yeah man. And people just are telling us say there is nothing that you cannot achieve once you believe. And all you have to do is start. Stop waiting for no moment to line up and no stars to align. You have sometimes have to line up to start them yourself, not true?
100.
Because if you still and wait, you'll still wait.
And the thing is, you know, the journey don't always start from Mandela Highway. It normally starts from a country road. You buck up in a two bad potholes, some bad ditches around there, so, but the goal is to reach to Mandela Highway.
See that, people? So basically what she has said is, you're not going to start off all nice and peachy every time. Sometimes the journey you go rough. Sometimes you go feel like you want to give up. Sometimes you go give up. But the ultimate goal is, remember, when you drop, don't stay on the ground. Get up, brush off, keep it moving. See? Jessie.